every time I think about it, it makes me more and more sick. Okay, people. What is good? Your boy T-Rav. I'm here again. Another movie review. This is The Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank movie review. And I'm not gonna lie to you, people. This is my most disappointing movie of the year as of right now. There was such high expectations on my part. Maybe that's partially my fault. Maybe it is. You know, but it's no excuse. It's no excuse, but when you portray something in the trailers and then it devolves into fourth wall breaking jokes and nonsense where we're not even really focusing on the characters all that much and it just boils down to Jimbo and Hank. Like, come on, bro. The bones and the structure was all there. Why couldn't we make a great movie out of this? This was supposed to be in the vein of Kung Fu Panda. And I just looked up that the story artist is the same for Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. Are you kidding me? Bro, it's like, I don't really have the energy to go through this entire movie about how, the cats and the dogs and how the inherent and apparent racism towards someone that's different than you is so clear. I mean, my God, that's just thrown in your face. We get all that. But to almost brush over that stuff after Hank gets his first little victory in the movie, and the low point is this nigga got a big head, went off and got swindled basically by Ikachu, who is voiced by Ricky Gervais. And he was, I'm not gonna lie, he was actually pretty funny at times. But that's the big low point. He goes and he gets a big head off of a victory he didn't even earn himself, when Jimbo was really the one that got the victory for him. Bro, I don't know, man. It's just, it has so much potential because of the little girl in Emiko who wants to be a samurai herself and seems fully and very, very capable, more capable than Hank for the most part. And she's just a little girl, but obviously she's a little girl, so no one's going to give her that credence or that credit, and no one's ever going to take her serious like that. And especially since she's a woman, and then, she's small and doesn't have experience in this stuff, but you could tell that she had the heart of an actual hero and an actual champion of the people. Hank is just coming in there because, he was on death row, whatever. Never get an explanation for that, really, just because he was a dog who happened to cross into the wrong country. And, starts off, he's in jail or whatever. Ikachu hatches a plot to go and send this little town a new samurai to keep up the appearance that he's actually, for the good of the people. But really and truly, he just wants to wipe this little town off the map because he's got this big, huge palace. And then there's this little bumfuck town over here that means nothing, is kind of run down and shit like that, because the old samurai left because he was a scary ass nigga, and when the niggas pulled up, he ran, tucked tail and ran. But we don't mention none of that about how the village people, and I kind of liked how we started, like the aggression that the people showed towards Hank, because already Hank is a little dog. He's pretty scared. He has no samurai experience whatsoever. He was really just sent there to fail. Stuff like that. Jimbo reluctantly trains this nigga, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. And their dynamic is nice. And that's really the only thing you can kind of latch onto in this movie, because Jimbo is a disgraced samurai who was cast out by the Shogun because he had some major fuck up in the past, but really and truly it was just a mistake. And turns out that the Shogun wasn't even that mad at him anyway, so he never really had to leave in the first place. I can get past all of that, but to just, oh bro, oh my God, this just really ticks me off, because this is supposed to be about the legend of Hank, but what legend has been built, dog? Really and truly, he gets one relatively epic fight by the end versus the big bad guy, and most of it is just jokes, and we're changing scenes real quick because we only got 85 minutes of runtime, which is mentioned multiple times in the movie, and then they just say, well, fuck it, we don't even care no more. Let's just, this isn't a good spot for the main big battle, so let's just somehow magically change the scene to go back to the Super Bowl. Like, come on, man. Oh my God, man. And you could see that the people were kind of coming around to him after he got his first little victory against the big fat cat, which, let it be known, again, Jimbo's the one who actually got that victory. How he could let all this go to his head and just forget the way that everyone has treated him since he's coming to the country. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's for you. No, dog, that's not realistic. That's the only semi-smart point of this movie. But then again, those is all people that the main bad guy has hired in order to distract him and then take him away from protecting the town in the first place. But I don't know what y'all was going for, but if you were trying to go for a Kung Fu Panda, you failed on the most astronomical levels possible, dog. Because there is no bigger world to touch on. There is no greater context about bringing balance to nothing or overcoming the inherent discrimination that everyone places on people like Hank. He has one little monologue speech by the end to try and capture the people's hearts, but really and truly, that's only working for you, bro. That's not going to change much of anything in terms of the greater context of the country and how it views dogs, because this country is run by cats. So I just don't like how the trailer seemed to portray like this big old great story. And yeah, there was jokes in the trailers and all that, but this movie is a joke. It's all just straight jokes, and I don't even know who your jokes are trying to land for, because kids are not going to get the majority of these jokes. Most of the time, the kids will probably only like the physical comedy aspect when, you know, Hank's getting his ass beat during the training and stuff like that. Like, what are we doing? We're making fourth wall breaking references and all this stuff, but it's not hitting. It's not hitting. And as someone who has come around to be a pretty big animated movie fan, this is no question the biggest failure of a movie that I have seen thus far. Nickelodeon, you should have just went ahead and popped this whole straight on to Nickelodeon. Don't waste my time in the theater. And bro, when I tell you I went to this movie with a friend of mine, and then the first 10-15 minutes is some Nickelodeon original short thing about some weird hamster, and it had absolutely nothing to do with nothing. Like, I don't know if this is how Nickelodeon movies are in general nowadays, but from what I recall, and going to see Kung Fu Panda, we did not have that. Your movie was already 85 minutes of runtime, and it really wasn't even that, because y'all had this nonsense here at the beginning and all that. So, oh, see, I'm getting worked up. If you are looking forward to this movie as an older person, or just not an adolescent child, just don't waste your time. If you want to watch it with the kids, if you got little nephews, nieces, whatever, little brother, sister, something, fine. Let it come on Nickelodeon. Do not rent this movie. If it's still in theaters, which I think it is in a couple theaters still, do not go and pay your hard-earned shekels for this movie. It is a waste. And it is so disappointing. I cannot measure just how big of a flop this was, man. Just how big of a flop. And you have the structure set to where it wouldn't be hard to give us a big, juicy, heartfelt story about overcoming differences between people and learning how to get past your preconceived biases when you know nothing about someone that's different than you. But no, we just really kind of cast aside the little girl too, who had the most potential to really bring that story about, because she was the first one really trying to accept this nigga Hank, and everyone else was not on that. And then we just get gratuitous shots thrown in there where, you know, her mom comes around to like Hank after dunking on him for the whole movie, and by the very end, and they band together. It's nonsense. I'm not gonna waste my time no more. This is a 2 out of 10. Yes, people, you heard it right. It's a 2 out of 10. Do not, I repeat, do not pay your money for this movie in any way, shape, or form. You will be disappointed. It is not the movie that the trailers portray it to be, with some big heartfelt story, with a great deep message. No. And we don't even explain certain things about like how Jimbo was able to get out of there when he went and basically sacrificed himself for everybody. Like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. This is over. We're done. I'm out. Fuck that movie. God damn it.